Hi, Virgo rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 12th of April until the 20th of April. I think this is quite a deep work for you this week. You are a Mercury ruled sign and you feel the intensity of Mercury, Saturn, Pluto, Mars aspect combination. The shift is very much happening in your eighth house, the house of shared resources, transformation, intimacy, as well as the sixth house, the house of health and daily systems. So, Virgo rising, prepare for a deep dive. While the rest of the world is kind of like looking at the surface, it feels like you are going into this engine room of your life. This week, your eighth house, the house of shared resources, psychology, transformation is kind of like being rewired here. It's time to look at what you share with others and what you are keeping from yourself. This is about empowerment through release. You are moving from managing your life to kind of like mastering your internal power. You're gonna have to dig deep. You're gonna have to find what you are talented at, what your strengths are. And you're gonna have to say no to those people who try to take the power away from you. Now, we do have got the Mars and Neptune conjunction happening in your eighth house. As well as we have got Venus sextile Jupiter, which is triggering your ninth and 11th houses. So Mars meeting Neptune, on one hand, this could really talk to us about that you might be having a bit of a foggy type of relationship, for example. You might feel like that someone is not honest with you, not being fully clear. Or simply you might be projecting a dream onto someone who might not be able to kind of fulfill it for you. This is not necessarily a day when we have to be arguing about money or actually to commit to something. You can use this energy to um, potentially to sort some paperwork out, for example, connected to your finances, or if you are kind of like in a if you have got certain type of business deals, then you might want to be double checking the fine print later because this Neptune might be creating a bit of a fog for you and you are unable to see exactly what you are meant to be seeing. Use this for a bit of a psychological cleansing. At the same time, Venus in your ninth house is talking to Jupiter in your 11th, so you are getting the green light. Your big ideas and your social network are in perfect sync. You might get a message from someone abroad or a breakthrough in a legal or educational matter, for example, and that could make you feel incredibly supported, expanded. You can feel kind of lucky as well. This might be something where you're going to get a bit of a bonus, for example, something that makes you feel good. So while Neptune and Mars, you might feel like that someone is dealing with some shady things with money. But that Venus and Jupiter is kind of like giving you the support financially as well. It's like you lose money, but at the same time you gain double back. Now, also, we've got Mercury on 29 degree, sextiling Uranus on 29 degree in your ninth house, happening at the same time with the Aries new moon. So your ruler hits the 29th degree, the degree of crisis, the degree of endings. This is happening between your seventh and ninth house, the house of partnerships and beliefs. So you can have an aha moment about a relationship dynamic that has been holding your growth back. You finally see the logic behind the emotions, for example, of the partner. And this is actually clearing the deck for the new moon on the 16th. The new moon is an internal reset for you. This is a powerful reset for your finances, your intimacy. This is a day to settle a debt, apply for a loan, or have that deep, kind of raw conversation with a partner. Mars sextile actually gives you the courage to look at the dark stuff of what needs to be fixed in your life or even in your relationship as well. You seem to be reclaiming your power from anyone who you have given it to or you are trying to who is trying to take it away from you. Now, for my Virgo rising members, we are doing this very deep dive into the eighth house new moon on the 14th of April. It's going to be happening on my membership site, AstroViktor.com. But you can also join on YouTube through my membership portal. And we are going to be talking to you about how to disentangle this energy and how your money from things that no longer serve you might leave you behind, or how actually to use it for your financial benefit. So check that out on my website or join the membership right here. Now, Mercury then moves into the eighth house. So a bigger cluster in your eighth house. And it's going to make a conjunction to Saturn, Mars, and Pluto and Neptune as well. So, firstly, Mercury is going to start. Mercury is you. So, Mercury is ready to jump into that deep dive of research. But it gets a little bit confused. It is getting mixed messages. And when Mercury starts talking to Mars and Saturn on the 18th, 19th, then all of a sudden we're going to have a bit of an audit happening there. That Saturn is going to say that it's time to get serious. So if the new moon was the intention to change your finances or something within your psyche, Saturn is actually the contract. This is a day for deep focus, research, setting firm boundaries. You are building kind of like this vault for your energy and your assets. We still need to be careful with Mercury and Neptune. We can be very intuitive with that, and certain type of energies can be just piercing through that we might not be able to know how to handle though. And Mars is giving you all the courage that you need to get things done, but Saturn says we have to be planning things. You have to be very dedicated, you have to be very serious about it. Um, at the same time, we have got Juno and Pluto conjunction happening in your sixth house as well. The house of health, work, daily routines. This is the first of three passes. So you are entering this power contract with your own body or within workplace. Maybe it's a major shift starting in your life, perhaps a new intense health regime or a complete transformation of your job description, or you're ready to go for a new job. You are committing to a level of mastery in your daily craft that will redefine your life for the next 1 year because this is a new cycle. Virgo risings, you are pretty much the alchemist this week. You are turning lead into gold by doing the hard internal work. What would you like to start fresh? Do let me know. What changes would you like to make in your life? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what old habits are you leaving behind at this new moon. Because you are ruled by Mercury, I think you're going to have to dig deep so that you can get the mental clarity. And that's going to come after the fog that you might be experiencing at the beginning of the week. So don't be necessarily shocked about getting a little bit confused. I think your mind with Venus and Jupiter is going to become more open to possibilities. You can meet new people, you can make new friends, you can discover new places as well. It's about something that is stimulating your senses. You can have a lot of flashes of insights though with Mercury and Neptune conjunction. Uh, Even when you are just kind of like at the bank, for example, dealing with tax papers, and all of a sudden something can hit you. Also, I can imagine that you are ready to deep dive with the eighth and the ninth house activations that you've got this week. You're ready to dig deep into certain type of studies. For example, you might be ready or conquering your fears around, for example, doing a website with Jupiter and Venus, putting something out there, on social media. But maybe that Mercury Saturn is going to say that it's time to have a serious conversations with those inner demons, or maybe you have got some serious conversations to make about finances as well. But it also feels like that you have to be recalibrating your way of speaking to others. I mean, Mercury, Neptune, for example, imagine that you get a tax paper and then you are going to be misunderstanding that. And then Mars gets angry and then it picks up the phone and then calls the bank. And then it just turns out to be a huge misunderstanding. Also, it's highly possible that, it's kind of like you have been promising something to yourself, but you get disappointed because you haven't delivered that. So I would say that during Mercury Neptune, just avoid making any type of contractual agreements, for example, that's a lot better with Mercury and Saturn to do so. You know, and thank God Mercury is making a sextile to Pluto, so it feels like that you are a little bit of a Sherlock Holmes, and you have got a lot more critical eyes on details. It feels like that Saturn is helping you to slow down, while Mercury in Aries wants to sign a piece of contract, let's say immediately. Mars is kind of makes it very enthusiastic. Saturn and Pluto does slow it down a little bit. And maybe with Pluto, because you have already learned from previous mistakes that we cannot rush things forward. So, good luck, Virgo, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.